I want to be clear just to start this video off. If you want to get vaccinated, go right ahead. If you want to get 50 booster shots, you go right ahead. That is your prerogative. I really don't care. I'm not for nor against what people want to do with their own body. Okay, it's just not my problem. I don't care. But in New York, I've lived in New York my whole life, aside from some short stints outside. I lived down south for a little bit, but New York really, I can't think of many reasons to live here. For people who maybe come from out of town or something like that, there's, New York has like a certain, thing to it, like going down to Manhattan to the larger cities and stuff like that. There's a lot of nice buildings. What does that even mean, a nice building, right? I mean, there's a skyline down there. There's lots of people, lots of different cultures, like kind of all like, mixed together. And New York City is a very interesting place, but it's a shithole. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. It's overpriced. People are angry, miserable. You can't afford to live there. I mean, you have people who are billionaires who walk right past people who are dirt poor, homeless. And it's just, there's an insane disparity down in New York City. But, of course, now they're rolling out, if you basically earn a paycheck and you work and you're in New York City, you need to get vaccinated. No ifs, ands, or buts. Mayor de Blasio has rolled this out. And he says that, we're out of the voluntary stage. He says now you must get vaccinated. Now, this man is going to be leaving office in less than a month. And we have this other guy, Eric Anderson, whatever his name is, whatever. I don't follow New York City politics too much. I live outside of New York City. But I see that this new mandate for New York City is probably going to affect all of New York. They actually just announced a state of emergency in Westchester, which is outside of New York. They said a 13-year-old boy or girl or whatever has popped up with the Omicron variant. So now, they want to really push the issue down in New York. And I can't see how this is going to work out. I mean, most people who know New York know that there's just so much shit going on in New York City. I mean, you got like mobs who have, like, the mob has businesses down there. Gangs have businesses. Corrupt people on every level, they have businesses down there. And something tells me these people aren't going to really go along with this. So then that presents a problem for the government. They're going to have to figure out, how are they going to enforce these mandates for these vaccinations? And do they even have the money to do it? I mean, the government is running out of money. They're trying to put through bills. They can't agree on anything. But somehow they're going to have the ability to enforce these mandates. I mean, like I said, once again, I'm not on the side of anything. So if a YouTube employee watches this video and, they're looking for a reason to take it down, like I said, I'm not for or against anything. I don't care what people want to do with themselves. You want to get a booster, get a vax, go ahead and do it. Enjoy yourself. But I see that this mandate, I mean, this is like only a couple days old now. I think this is going to cause some really, really big issues here in New York. I mean, unemployment's going to skyrocket, mass riots. I mean, you name it. But let's take a look into what we got going on here.
Tonight, we go into the heart of a community under siege with the team coming to the...
I mean, this guy, Molester Hall, whatever his name is, he is just you look at a person like this, if I saw him on the street, I would try to avoid this man at all costs. He gives off very weird energy. But that's besides the point.
Rescue of a health system teetering on the edge. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
Tonight, with Omicron now discovered in nearly 20 states, the mayor of New York City is implementing the nation's most sweeping vaccine mandate for all private employers. By the end of this month, those who work in person must have at least one dose of a vaccine unless they qualify for an exemption.
We needed to do something bold quickly and get ahead of all of this.
With new testing restrictions also implemented today for all travelers entering the U.S., our nation is bracing for Omicron, but already facing a disaster set into motion by Delta.
I used to wake up crying because I thought I was going to die.
You know, these hypochondriac type people who, I mean, I don't know this lady personally, but I know a lot of people in my life who are in and out of the hospital constantly. They're always going to the doctor. If they wake up in the morning and they feel like they have just the slightest issue, they go to the hospital. And it's because of those people that the healthcare system is so broken down. Because a lot of these people don't have any money. They show up to the emergency room. They don't care about their credit. They get these services and all this stuff. The hospital never gets paid back for it. And so, so them accompanied with these insurance companies that cause, procedures, medical procedures and medicine, whatever, just like the cost of this shit to skyrocket. Those are two issues. People like this who, she's laying in a hospital bed with her mask on. I mean, shouldn't the hospital be sterilized to a certain degree? Right? I mean, does she really have to be sitting in a bed with her mask on? Anthony, I mean, like, come on, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, she said she would wake up and she was so upset and da 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 da. But yeah, I don't know. Let's get back into it.
Like 99% of those infected with the virus, Vera Martinez Ruiz, who isn't vaccinated, likely has Delta.
I never thought it would get me, and it got me. And it's really scary.
I mean, I'm overweight myself. I mean, probably the doctor would consider me obese. But certainly, if I was to get sick and I ended up in a hospital, I would think that maybe some of my poor dietary choices could be what led to that. That could be the issue with this lady. We don't know what she does in her personal life that could have led her here. I mean, she certainly is obese. But, what kind of health choices has she made, to get her here? But then the news rolls her out there and she cries and it's like, she's like, oh, I'm unvaccinated. And, they're pushing this whole idea where the unvaccinated people are they're the issue. COVID exists because people are not getting the vaccine. And that is a little odd to me because, I mean, nobody knows where this COVID virus came from. I mean, well, some people out there probably do, but I mean, the layman does not have any clue on, where this thing originated from. But you have the media that is pointing out to people that it's the unvaccinated who is keeping this whole thing going. And, that's a problem because now unvaccinated people seem to be like the new, the new population that's to be blamed for things. I mean, throughout history, there's always been these times where, a certain population of people are, murdered, killed off, hunted, like the whole idea behind the witch hunt. That seems to be what's happening now with the unvaccinated people. And it certainly should be a cause for alarm, because, I mean, what is considered unvaccinated? They keep moving the goalposts. They say, okay, get 1 shot, you're vaccinated. Then it's get 2 shots, you're vaccinated. Then it's get 2 shots plus a booster, then you're vaccinated. And if you have 2 shots and you don't have the booster, then you're not vaccinated. I mean, what's going on? I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to see that there's some fucking games being played here. But, I mean, I don't know. Let's see.
Martinez Ruiz is lucky to be alive and just as fortunate to have a hospital bed. At the San Juan Regional Medical Center in Farmington, New Mexico, the ICU is over 200% capacity. More than half the patients in the building have COVID.
This is our 5th wave, and this is clearly the most severe wave that we've had to endure.
Certainly one thing that I kind of find a little strange, while there certainly are some people who have gotten COVID who are extremely sick, vast majority of people, I would like to probably say myself included, late 2019, I came down with a really weird illness. And I mean, I just, slept it off, went to work and it went away. And there's a, vast majority of people, same exact thing. maybe they got COVID and they barely felt it. Maybe they were down or whatever. But I mean, where are all these people? I mean, when I drive by some of these hospitals that claim that they are, full to capacity, I mean, you look out in the parking lot and there's barely any cars there. So, I mean, what's up with that? I mean, there was plenty of reports of some of these hospitals. There's nobody even in the hospital. You walk up to the ICU and there's all the security there, but people were getting in there and looking around and there was open beds. I mean, when you fire half your staff, all these nurses and doctors who were, fired or were forced to quit or whatever because they didn't want to get a vaccine, that is going to be a problem. Yeah, sure. You can have a million beds in a hospital, but if you have nobody there to care for the patients, then that causes an issue. It's very, very strange. A lot of strange stuff that's going on here.
In need of a lifeline, this rural hospital is now getting help. An HHS National Disaster Medical Team has been deployed to assist overwhelmed staff. Typically used on the front lines of natural disasters, they're now needed for a growing crisis inside hospitals.
For some Americans, the pandemic is becoming an afterthought, but that's not the reality on the ground.
COVID is still very much here. These are very bad, very sad.
I would like to think that probably everybody in this room is vaccinated, but they have their masks on. You got these individuals who are sitting all right next to each other. So where's the science in that? Are they vaccinated, but yet it's okay that, they're sitting right next to each other and they have their masks on? I mean, what is it? What exactly is the story? They just keep changing the story over and over again. And then, so now the hospitals are understaffed and they have this new HHS National Disaster Medical Team, right? Where the hell did they come from? I guess they were probably maybe always around somewhere in the government. It's sort of like FEMA, where like FEMA was around for a while and then it just became like this huge, like the government agency. So now we have these HHS people, and I'm going to guarantee these people are vaccinated, but they're still wearing their masks. And so, I mean, it's mind blowing. Does the vaccine work or not? That's my only question. I don't know if it does or if it doesn't. They don't know. And like I said, once again, you want to get vaccinated, go ahead and do it. You want to get your boosters, go ahead and do it. But all I'm asking is, why is this? I mean, I feel like I'm being gaslit. You got these three guys sitting right next to each other with their mask on and they're vaccinated. So why are they told, socially distance, wear your masks, da-da-da-da-da. I mean,
Bad situations that oftentimes don't have a very good ending.
That is most true here in the ICU, where cameras have never been allowed before.
Where cameras have never been allowed before.
All of these rooms are full.
All of these rooms are full of intubated COVID patients.
Could you imagine? Just imagine, you are in ICU in real bad shape, and then they roll the news through there, all these cameras, and I mean that has to be some type of a hazard, right? Should people, if you're in the ICU and you're really sick, I mean, do you think that it's appropriate for a news team to come, with their cameras and all that type of stuff to come prancing through there? I mean, does that make sense? No.
Authorities want the public to see how dire the situation is.
A lot of the sickest patients that are on this floor won't make it out of this floor.
The grim reality of Delta is often overlooked, and for the sickest, the writing is on the wall. Scribbled on far too many doors here reads the words anointed by Father Tim. Patients who've been given their last rites because the end may be near.
Boy, Miguel, we are still.
So, I mean, from what it looks like to me, all other sicknesses have completely vanished. And it's all about Delta and Omicron. Very, very unfortunate state of events that we are in. And, with the mandates in New York City, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see any of this turning out very well. I mean, things seem to be getting way bad rapidly. And I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to be the end of this? I mean, it's very interesting that all this stuff is rolling out in New York, because there's a lot of crazy fucking people out there in New York City, and they're not gonna go along with this. I mean, there's just no fucking way. So certainly we all have a front row seat, especially if you're right here in New York. I live in Westchester, so I certainly have a front row seat to the show. So let's see what happens, y'all, and just keep your faith in God, because you're really gonna need it. Goodbye.